Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I've got an easy one for you. My name is Don Smith, D-O-N-S-M-I-T-H. I am publisher of the Grand Island Independent. The editorial board of the Grand Island Independent stands firmly in support of LB935 and applauds Senator Mike Bloor and the bill's co-sponsors Kate Sullivan and Annette Dubas for their efforts to craft a law that will benefit communities across the state of Nebraska. While the state legislature has an obligation to consider every measure that might save the taxpayers money, improve the quality of state services, or win federal grants, it also has a duty to see that the state truly represents the best interests of the people and all parties affected by the actions of the legislature or the executive office. LB 935 is not about a battle between two communities or about personal conflicts. LB 935 doesn't mention the Grand Island Veterans Home or veterans. The proposed move of the Grand Island Veterans Home is, however, an example of why such a law is of vital importance. Honorable committee members, I implore you to consider firstly the justification and wisdom for moving the Grand Island Veterans Home in the first place. I ask on behalf of all Nebraskans, does the state of Nebraska really gain a net benefit from this decision? Will jobs be created by moving the home from one jurisdiction to another? If the legislature had been presented the opportunity to review the justification and merits of the financial case for relocating the home and building a new one, would the decision to relocate have been advanced? If the legislature were given the responsibility weighing the human impact of relocating this state service, would the outcome have been the same? I ask you to consider, too, what makes the Veterans Home question so unique. While the State Department of Economic Development actively encourages communities to compete and recruit new enterprises, jobs, and facilities, the relocation of the Grand Island Veterans Home sets a troubling precedent by pitting Nebraska communities against each other in a winner-take-all sweepstakes. There is no comparable historical context in which such a large Nebraska state facility or institution has been uprooted from one community and moved to another. No other government action has so overtly favored one community with such a large prize while leaving an even larger void in another community. The relocation of the Nebraska State Fair has often been held up by the governor as the quid pro quo. If the proposed move of the Grand Island Veterans Home was really about the executive office brokering state institutions to court favor, then that should have been made clear to all parties concerned from the beginning. Make no mistake, Grand Island is proud to be the host community of the Nebraska State Fair and will be forever grateful that it moved to central Nebraska. There are, however, vast disparities between the location of the Nebraska State Fair and the proposed relocation of the Veterans Home. First and foremost, the justification for moving the State Fair was fully vetted by committee and the full legislature. All parties were given abundant opportunity to be heard in that open public process. Secondly, as a matter of scale, the annual economic impact of the fair and the number of jobs sustained represents only a small fraction of that of the Grand Island Veterans Home. Thirdly, unlike the Grand Island Veterans Home decision, there were only winners in the State Fair move. The City of Lincoln won, the University of Nebraska won, Grand Island won, and the State Fair and the people of Nebraska won by gaining a new, better, more viable, and sustainable State Fair. Nebraska's agricultural community also won when the State Fair returned to its rural roots. Most executive orders are wielded judiciously, thoughtfully, and fairly. Executive orders, though, are sometimes rendered with prejudice, bias, and lack of justification and accountability. Many states have enacted statutes that constrain the autonomy of executive order as a check and balance to prevent overreaching. The spirit of Senator Bloor's bill is to engage the only body that can truly represent the people's best interests without bias and favoritism, the state legislature. In the case of the Veterans Home question, the best interests of whole classes of people were not considered. The veteran residents of the home, their family members, and the 300 plus staff members of the Grand Island Veterans Home who will be uprooted and must live in limbo for years. Also, the people, the businesses, and local governments of Grand Island and Hall County are similarly affected. Honorable committee members, I can tell you from personal experience that this saga has left our veterans at the home with a deep sadness, a loss of dignity, and feelings of fear and uncertainty. These are men and women who sacrificed in the cause of freedom, including, most importantly, the right to speak freely.
Your time is up.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll stop there. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions from the committee? I'm sorry to cut you off, but
That's quite all right.
in fairness to the other testifiers,
I didn't time it, so.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.